Well, that would be a secret now, wouldn't it?
Maybe $200–300 out of this creek in a year.
Extremely dangerous with the traffic driving by.
Each year, more and more people find themselves out of work and out of money. This is the story of one man who is literally seeking his fortune in an unconventional way.
It would be really sad.
Follow me on a journey into California's rugged gold-bearing mountains, where the specter of sudden death waits patiently for lone miners, as it surrounds this one man diligently scratching at the surface of the earth. This one man simply seeking the means to survive, but knowing full well there is a harsh penalty for making just one simple mistake, or even for no fault of his own, as he pursues the most dangerous quest of all.
Guerrilla Gold. We can usually come up with some decent gold. Gold in the dirt, you can actually see it. Which was...
Don't fall down. Guerrilla. It is a legend for sure.
Road.
Legend. These could not be the
You go to the drop points in the water.
Do not mess with
It's a good canyon to work in if you work the upper end of that sign outside of Ranchburg. Go, baby.
and the bowl.
To grab just some soil.
In this episode of Guerrilla Gold, we find Kirk in the gold-rich foothills and mountains where California's gold rush began. This determined man endures the perils of unimaginable danger, like being buried alive, or bit by a venomous rattlesnake, or from perils coming from things not of this world.
It scared the crap out of me. Okay. So these drainages, but in particular further up the hill, I get out and maybe I'll follow them up the road 100 yards or so at a time. And you look for drop-off points where the water will flow down here, because it roars through here pretty good. And you clean out the drop-offs. You go down maybe 6 inches or so in the soil. And on this particular stretch of road, I doubt I'll find anything down here, and I'm certainly not going to find it looking this way. But on this particular stretch of the road, you can usually come up with some decent gold. When I say
like flakes, chunks?
Flakes, maybe, this isn't gold, but maybe the size of that.
Okay.
But you go to the drop points in the water, and then you kind of dig, and you might come up with $40 worth or so in the hike. It's about a 2-mile stretch.
It looks like it could also be dangerous with the traffic driving by, huh?
Extremely dangerous with the traffic driving by. And therefore, I run across the street while you have the camera going on so I can get the action here. This creek bed that runs down through here, and it runs down to the Merced River, right at the Bagby Bridge that we'll be coming up to pretty soon, is a gold producer. You can see the old tailing piles from the miners moving rocks and boulders to get to the placer gold right down below us. This is a good canyon to work in if you work the upper end of it. The lower end,
is pretty much worked out. A lot of people come up here and pay $10, $15 a day for the pleasure of working the lower end just to be frustrated. But if you hike in, and you can see the angle of these hills and all the brush, if you hike into it, it can be worth your while on the upper end.
In terms of gold?
Yeah. It can be worth it for the day type thing. It's hard work. You have to shift boulders out of the way, but there's gold there. It drains down from a Fremont's mine, which is up the canyon. So,
nice.
but there is still some in the canyon. It's pretty, it's rugged. There's wild apple trees growing down there, which makes it kind of nice, and it draws the deer and bear. So the brush is incredibly dense, so you can be down there and just have a really close experience with a deer or a bear. So, other miners.
No, that wouldn't be good.
Oh, it happens, but I have yet to run across that beautiful woman just like that sign outside of Randsburg. Oh, baby.
But you're still thinking about her,
I
huh?
always think about her. She's forever on my mind. So there's the Merced River. This is a Bagby Rec Area, Bagby Bridge. They've got a campground here. Not really big, 30-something places. But what's really neat about it is they have hot water and hot showers. So you pay dearly. But you can see this way, you see the foundations of buildings along the creek.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's the remains of the old mill from the town of Bagby. And everything, it's a gold mining area. Now up here, you're allowed to pan the direction we're traveling, downstream from this bridge. You cannot pan upstream from this bridge whatsoever, allowed, period, end of story. But it does have a good campground. There is a big gold mine, a major mine, right up on top of this hill. There's really good fishing. And then I sit here like this. I work this culvert every year. A lot of other people do too, but it doesn't look like it's been worked yet. Short of last time I was up here, maybe. Generally speaking, the gold has a drop-off point. When the water comes roaring through, gold's about 20 times heavier than everything else around it, short of maybe platinum. So it's not going to really carry too far. So it has drop-off points, areas where it won't continue to drift. This will be one coming out of a culvert. You got the low spot. It'll be in here under the rock. It'll be down here, pounded into the ground and in this pile. And it'll be down there, which is usually where I find it. Also, I usually find snakes. So you have to be really careful. But this is one of my several diggy spots, and I work the creek bed in different points through this brush.
And so do you have an exact GPS coordinate you could point out this spot right here?
Yes,
specifically?
I do. Yeah, I sure do. It's 5369 Kiss My Ass.
Nice. Secret freaking path that you have.
Not so secret freaking path. But this is further down the creek bed and more into what I work. And this is, you can see, I was out here earlier in the year, so, but I usually go down to the bedrock, and I'm probably not going to have any luck on this spot right now. People might do this, but they're not going to climb up in this like I do. So they can go ahead and have this spot. I take the hard spots. I usually do pretty good. I'll work this, and I'll work it maybe another 50 feet down the draw through this brush. And it gets really interesting in the spring because of the snakes.
They like it down here because it's cooler, right?
Because
With water?
They got the cover from the birds, so they don't get hit on as much by the hawks out here. So yeah, snakes like the sun, and then they like to retreat into this type of overgrowth and rock. And it can get really interesting.
Cool.
This trip, this place usually, maybe a little bit, a couple times a year, will pay for my trip, type thing. I'll find maybe $200-300 out of this creek in a year.
You found something?
There you go. There's one.
That's gold?
It's a flake.
Pull it out. I don't believe you.
Every time I hear that, man. Every time I hear, are you a cop?
Never.
Are you a cop?
Another gold flake, huh?
Yeah, I'm in the process of figuring out where this comes from. I think I actually know. But yeah, I'll look at this up by the car. I know where it is. I come and go as I want to. This isn't where I want to be today, so
Okay.
this is not where I'll play.
Fair enough. I like it.
What that means out here is I can't tell you how many times I've got spots like this all over the place on this stretch of road and find gold, and I keep saying I'm going to come back, and I'm going to come back, and when I do, it's covered with, this is a registered mining site. Trespassers keep off. Somebody else comes in and gets my spot.
Oh, they're following you. They know you're a good miner.
No. No, no, no. I am just lucky to be alive. I'll clear this puppy out. It'll take me a day.
You don't want to be up here during Easter then?
Dude, no. Easter, I go out to the desert. I don't care how much I could find up here. I go out to the desert on Easter. 'Cause if I wanted to be around people, I'd move to LA.
Right.
So, but Easter, and a lot of people are coming out here now, and they're doing the same thing that I do. Is this time of year is you sample areas because of snakes. You really don't want to go into the heat of the summer, so you sample them now and you find the areas that you're going to hit over the spring and summer.
We're on some secret road off the main road,
which is kind of between Coulterville and Sonora off Highway 49. Which was
so there's a lot of rocks here that looks like they've been brought up from the river.
I've worked down in here before. It can be amusing. And my goal on this trip is to get the truck stopped and then show them to dig us out.
Oh, this is going to be one of those good.
Please don't be a car. Oh, please don't be a car. I'm looking for an area that doesn't have much people. If I see something that's got a relatively new clay monument marker or relatively fresh signs of being worked, then I generally shy away just because it's bad etiquette to dig somebody else's spot, because I know I work awfully hard to find some of the spots I've found that haven't paid off for me.
Nice. You got to work at getting where you're going.
Yeah, you do. But we won't find those little Toyotas full of people back here.
So
that just means we might have better luck.
I hope so.
I hope so too. And basically the next flat place I see where I can turn around is where I'm going to, which is down here. So we'll start screwing around down in here.
Okay, we just arrived at our first official stop, and it's one of Kirk's secret locations here. And it looks like we have some other miners that have found the same spot. There's a nice little cave right here. Actually, it's a pretty good size one too. Boy, it just keeps going down and down and down. They must have liked what they were digging because they kept digging. But man, look how dangerous this looks. This is all soggy, muddy rocks, barely held in place. But I guess what they're doing is taking the soil from between the rocks here and running that. This is like a little secret path to Kirk's little mining operation. One of his places that he likes to go. Here's another wall that looks like it's been mined a little bit. Gotta kind of creep under the trees over here. Ducking underneath these vines. There he is. This is what you want to look for in a creek bed. It's a pool.
There's gold in this dirt right here. You can actually see it.
We found your spot, so now what's the plan?
We go back up to the truck and I'm going to drink a whole lot of bourbon and go to sleep for the rest of the day while my faithful compatriot Joe carries all the equipment down here for us, and then I'll come and set it up and we'll turn him loose in the shark tank. Actually, we've got a series of good dip spots right in front of a big pond. This is a really good catch basin with a metal detector, and do some detecting and some digging if we hit any good targets. And I'm also going to bring down a hand suction device if I can figure out how to put it together, and try and clean out some of these crevices that are in between the rock layers, because that's kind of actually where your gold is going to end up filtering down into.
Okay, let's get to it.
Yes, let's. Yay. And we're going to try and find the body that was in that jacket. We also have the probably doesn't go too much further before it hits into the creek.
But it's for channeling the water off the river to then do your sluicing?
Do your sluicing without having to be down on the bottom of the creek.
Oh,
It's quite a ways. We've been walking on it. It looks like just an old trail. It's kind of cool.
Here's what I know so far. We had our plan for the day. We knew that we wanted to gather up our gear and head back through that overgrown path to begin our day of metal detecting in the area that Kirk felt we would be most productive. And Kirk was sitting against the truck smoking a cigarette, and all of a sudden he stood up, started the truck, and said he was leaving with or without me. I thought he was kidding. He wasn't. His eyes were different, his face was pale, and he had a sense of, if you don't get in, you'll be left here with whatever it is that's driving me out. See anything interesting out there?
Certainly had some very interesting experiences that I just have never had in that area before. And I look forward to going back to it very soon.
Was it a good experience, or?
It scared the crap out of me.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Like terrified or what?
Why are you asking all these questions? You're the ones who almost had to chase the truck as I was leaving there.
That was quite an experience.
Yeah, it was unnerving. It was unnerving. So we did him out pretty quickly. Yeah, I'm leaving piles of Pabst Blue Ribbon. $50 or $100 or $300 worth in a day, and 5 feet to the left or right, and you have $1 a day.
It is a legend for sure. Legend. This could not be the maker of gold.
You got something.
Yeah. I find disturbances, but I don't find any tracks. So.
It is a cave of gold. It is laced with gold. Lots of gold. I must go.
And the top dropped down and pancaked them in and buried them, which happens.
The Joe Zone.